Here she is. No?
It was. Hello.
No, she's here.
All right, right
Hello.
on time. I had to run.
Right on time. Wow.
I had to run to be on time. That wasn't so easy.
You made it. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for.
Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Sorry, maybe I put a background. It's my flat in Ticino.
It's interesting to see a little bit of your flat.
It's not my flat. Well, it's my flat, but it's like let's have a lot of activity going on in Ticino in 1 week. So I'm not. I'm renting just a studio, like random.
Right. So it isn't your flat. It's
No.
rent. Where do you live these days?
In Briançon, a little south from Briançon. Briançon is north, 30 minutes south from Briançon. So
Okay.
it's really perfect because we have everything, like the mountains and everything. And yeah, like we can go also in Seus in 1 hour. So it's pretty good. And there is a lot of climbing, a lot of like bouldering. Yeah, it's a good base. And you are like all like everywhere in Europe, very fast somehow. Just Spain is very far. So I don't go to Spain anyway.
No. And pretty close to good skiing as well.
Yeah, like just next home, like to home, like 30 minutes, we have like Puy Saint-Vincent or like like all like the main area around Briançon, and La Grave is 1 hour, but we never go because anyway, like Queyras, it's even better for ski mountaineering because it's a lot of like nice hills and slope in below 30 degrees, and when there is a lot of snow, like you can do ski mountaineering.
Only thing I found with Briançon is that if you don't have a car, it's really difficult to get there and back.
Oh yeah, you should have a car.
Yeah, I know. But if you come from Sweden, I don't usually have a car, but I go with Vladek. So
no, the best is to fly to Torino and then rent a car in Torino. You just have to pass Montgenèvre, because flying in France, like even you could fly from Marseille or so, but everything is more expensive somehow. Italy is cheaper.
It's always, I mean, the World Cup in Briançon is always after Chamonix, right? And to get from Chamonix to Briançon, it's pretty close, but it's not.
Not.
No.
You better. I mean, like the closest is going through Italy actually. So, like you pass Tunnel du Mont Blanc, and then you through Italy, and you pass Montgenèvre. But if you follow the instruction of the navigation, you throw yourself into a moraine valley, and then you have to pay a fucking fee for the tunnel, which is insane. But Tunnel Mont Blanc is also insane.
Yeah.
But you can also drive through Grenoble, and Grenoble is really long. Then I mean it's 4 hours and a half or so. Yeah.
So when did you move down to well, not Briançon, but 30 minutes south of Briançon?
So it was just after the pandemic. I was still living in Paris somehow and didn't want to live in Paris anymore. Pandemic was a call. It was like, okay, somehow it was good to be close to an airport when I was doing camps, and afterwards I was really like, okay, actually it's really not. I mean, it was really nice, the people were really nice and so, but it's not the spirit of a place I want to live. Somehow I need mountains more. I feel way more, I don't know, at peace where I live now. I like it way more. I've discovered like I'm a multi-activity person actually.
Yeah, that's for sure. But where did you grow up actually?
I grew up in northeast of France, like in the border, like in Lorraine, like Vosges, the border with Germany. But at 10, my parents decided to move to Bordeaux, the fourth biggest city in France, and very different, southwest, flat, oceanic weather, very humid, and I don't know. Yeah, and I was in the northeast. I was living in a ski resort named Gérardmer.
Okay.
So it was quite a change when I arrived in Bordeaux, and I didn't really fit in until I found climbing, because climbing was somehow, I think, related to my roots where I was growing up in the Northeast.
But you didn't climb while you were living in the bush, right? At all?
No,
No, it was-
I did not.
You start like when you have been 15 or something like that, quite late, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I even waited 1 year to subscribe at this. It was kind of like a social club, we call it. It was pretty busy. There was no place for me the year 1, so I had to wait year 2. And I did how you call it? I tried all kind of sports, like bow.
Oh yeah. Archery.
Archery. Yeah, very interesting, but yeah. Not my thing.
Not your
Well,
thing.
maybe I can survive if I need to hunt and like we don't have food, and thanks to
Apocalypse.
archery.
Yeah. Well, so again, did you practice any other sports than archery before climbing? I guess you did.
Like a lot of gymnastic when I was younger, like until 6 or so. And at 3, I was on ski already. That was, or 2. It was one of the first sports probably I did until 10, and then I left the ski resort because we were living there. And in Bordeaux, I was doing a lot of co-sport, but didn't fit in this field somehow. I like to be humble, but I always liked, I don't know, sports more related to the outdoors.
Yeah.
Also in Germany, when I lived, when I was younger, below 10, there was this big lake, and we were doing a lot of sailing, like on small boats, and like triathlon.
Mhm. With sailing.
Yeah, a bit of kayaking.
All right. But
Yeah.
so 2 questions spring to mind. I mean, in France, my impression is that most people, you start climbing pretty early, and you're in the team, and you start compete, and you have coaches and so on already at 10, 11. But you were 15. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's like normal to start at 15.
No, it was a rush again time. Somehow I needed to get better fast.
Yeah.
It was totally feeling like I missed out some years. Especially when, like, the first years I remember I was competing against Marine Thévenet or Charlotte Durif. And then I was really like, did pretty well, but I have a gap to fill up for sure. And that was super great because motivation was so high up to try to catch up. So, and in Bordeaux, we didn't have such a great structure to train. I mean, like, for the time, I think Rock Altitude, the gym at the time, was pretty good. It's like an ex-competitor who built it up and made a lot of like good energy, and so he knew exactly how to grow a business, but also how to put the right vibe of a climber in it. Yeah, so we had this facility, thankfully, and a little like group of motivated competitors who had to, like, imagine it's like southwest part of France, so like everywhere you need to move at least 8 hours to go for competitions. And fortunately there was this group of climbers, young, and we traveled together everywhere, but we had no budget. We had to share like one room for 6 people, like one hotel room. It was a little like wild. And in the competition, I remember like, they were always teasing us because we had no budget. We already drove 8 to 12 hours, and but the motivation was here for sure. And
It must have been. And was it like, well, you already sort of answered that with the motivation, but so did you feel that climbing was, this is my thing right away?
Yeah, 100%. The first time I climbed, I thought, okay, I have a lot to handle, meaning like stress above the balls and like breathing and technique and like improving normally. But for sure, I was thinking, oh my God, it's a community I really like. It's movements I really like because I feel I can, somehow express myself in my way and not dictated by a way of doing somehow like that you have in other sports. So I felt it's my place. Yeah, and I'm still there.
Yeah.
Did you start with bouldering or with rope climbing, or did you do both?
No, it was a mix. Like, good thing is we were only like very close to Toulouse, so 2 hours. They were the first cracks, and on the weekend there was even like motivated climbers who like brought me to over there or Gorge du Tarn or in the Pyrenees. So now we had always like a mix between like rope climbing outside, also like the gym we were there like had both really good wall for like pretty steep, like 45 degree wall on 10-12 meter, something like this. So for the time it was pretty good already, and a really good bouldering area also for the time. So no, I did like from day one, did both at the same time.
So even outdoor climbing you did, so indoor, outdoor, both from
like everything at the same time. I was pretty lucky. Like this group of motivated climber like integrated me in this program and in their surrounding and like in the team. So it was really nice for this.
And I mean, you progressed pretty quickly. Already 2010, you were doing World Cups, and did you even podium in 2010?
2010 was my first podium in Eindhoven. In bouldering, but I did my first World Cup in 2008.
Oh, all right. After only just a few years of climbing. But did you get into this French national team at that point, or was that later on?
So that was kind of weird at the time. So you were allowed to do only one discipline, but somehow I got selected in this year in 2008 into the discipline like no speed, lead, and that was not even a thing speed actually at that time. So bouldering, and because I did Tuta block in La Chantière where I live now, and it works really well. And then I got into that. Also the French nationals in 2008, I was also in finals for the first time, coming kind of out of nowhere for the French selectors. So they were really keen to give me a chance and selected me in those two. But it's a process, I think.
Yeah.
So
but
in
sort
2
of
years, I could make my first podium in World Cup. But they made me choose actually in 2008 for 2009 in between lead and bouldering.
All right. So that's when you choose.
Because honestly, because it was more fun bouldering. Like it was less frustrating. I had more tries. I felt like I could gain more experience through bouldering, especially because I had at the end, when I see it now, I had like not so much experience in terms of handling the pressure in competition. So I needed to have a lot of tries and fails, I guess.
Did you have a coach at the time, or did you just climb and?
So the owner of the gym in Bordeaux kind of helped me a lot, and gave me some exercises, but it was a bit like I will come every Tuesday and Thursday, and somehow I was hanging out like straight out like from out of school, high school, to 10 p.m. and was climbing a lot, hanging out, climbing a lot, doing some exercises, and a little bit. Some exercises were a bit structured, but not as I experienced afterwards for sure. And on the weekend, I don't know, climbing, but whatever, wherever, just jumping in a car, or like it's raining, I'm in the gym 24 hours.
Did this change through did 2009, 2010, 11, when you were sort of regular on the World Cup? You mentioned this great atmosphere, and you can do whatever you wanted, sort of freedom. Did this change once you were sort of on the World Cup circuit?
It changed also because I moved to Aix-en-Provence.
Okay.
To the training center. I kind of asked them to make a place for me because I was doing bouldering and they were specialized into lead climbing. But my best friend Alize, where I kind of like spend all the time in Bordeaux with her, moved there. So I didn't see the option to not go.
Right.
So I pushed a bit myself through the door. Cool. So it was way more structured over there. A bit less freedom, but it was like compared to, I will say 2016, my last year of the World Cup, it was way more freedom when I consider it. It was a schedule where we will go a lot outside. Like on the weekend, it was free also. And living in Aix-en-Provence, you have all the cracks around. It was pretty amazing time.
Did you study there as well?
Yeah, I studied, have a degree in history and like specialized also a little bit in ethnology, sociology.
So it's a good place to live then, to be able to study at the university and train the same place.
Yeah. It's very centered. Everything is around for sure. It's a really good place, Aix-en-Provence.
Yeah, but if we sort of should summarize your World Cup career, it's a lot of second places, even more third spots, but no victory.
I'm fine with it.
Are you fine with it
you
now?
seem you're not fine with it. I'm fine with it. I did
no.
Whatever Graal was, my podium was for sure Action Directe. So I win something there for me. I think regardless all the second and third place, it was an amazing time, honestly. And when I see now the World Cup, I don't recognize what was we had before. I think it's very different. And I don't know. I think I'm very grateful to have experienced that because I was a very, shy and unconfident teenager or young adult, and I became a woman. I don't know. Yeah, I faced a lot of things through competitions, and that was really good for me. Yeah, I'm very, very thankful. Maybe it was not meant for me to win any World Cup anyway.
Do you think you would enjoy the World Cup like at the same age? If the World Cup was the way it is now at that time, would it be different?
Maybe I will do rock climbing now.
Instead,
because I don't like so much those ninja skilled parkour climbing. I really like to really pull really hard on holes somehow. Since the very beginning, I really like that. So
like you do now.
Yeah, I don't recognize, and I really like technique also. And maybe you saw that on the World Cups, like how I like to find somehow my ways through things, and I end up in a total really weird position and manage it somehow. So I like that.
I always love to shoot you the World Cup because of your face expression. So like dry, hard face. It was
Yeah, and I can also remember some super hard fights on problems in Stockholm, like last dry fights. Wow, you've been such a fighter.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the history too, somehow of this. Like what I lived, I had to fight really hard to make a place for myself in the team, in in this world and so, because I come from Bordeaux and I started at 15, and somehow I needed to fill this gap, and I think the fire come from there. Yeah,
it becomes a mindset, sort of.
Yeah, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
So
Do not accept to let it go.
why did you choose to quit the competitions then? Like, what was the input or impulse?
Well, I had like 3 injuries in a row. So it started, I think it was like kind of a lot for the pressure, for like the mind and how it was structured with the French team, and how somehow I was always kind of a free bird, and like I always manage my time and go outside, like doing rock climbing, or like in South. In Paris, it was always gray, so I was a bit depressed. Somehow it's true. Yeah, so I don't know. It was a lot of pressure, and I didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't feel like continuing with even more pressure with the Olympic, because it was pretty much like a key year where they decided that, okay, we go full on even more. And I was like, okay, 2016 was already full on for me. So I don't see myself totally skipping. And I felt I did already that in 2016. So I was really like, okay, that's fine. And also at the time I met Fabian, and yeah, it was, I don't know, it was feeling right somehow. So
was it difficult for you to say, okay, I stop competing, or did you feel like, really, I'm not enjoying that anymore, I wanted this change? You know, like...
No, I enjoyed it a lot, and especially like being in. I will always remember like the atmosphere and the energy when you are in the final of a World Cup, and somehow you are the show. And I don't know, I was really fired up by that. So, and it was kind of addicting. It was kind of a drug, I would say. So you for that, you kind of don't want to stop somehow. But yeah, I was like, I had a lot of support, honestly, for this decision. And like Fabian did help me a lot, just by his presence and his psychs for outdoor climbing. And like I saw also how to manage projects differently. And my sponsor was really like keen to follow, I'll say. They were really helpful on this decision. And also other friends like Marc Le Menestrel, who had really deep and long talk with him, who, yeah, like helped me to have the confidence to say, okay, it's time to turn a page, and that's all right.
So you mentioned that you had a bunch of injuries sort of towards the end of your competition career, which was in 2016, sort of the end of it. But were those injuries that were related more to sort of competition climbing than, was it easier to manage those on rock, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. It's very related to competition climbing, because somehow I think I don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
So when I give 100%, I give 100%. And on the rock, somehow it's a bit more manageable. Though I've got a lot of injury still. But it's also morphologically, I think. I'm someone who has really like thin and long muscles, so tendons and ligaments, and so they are a little more fragile. And yeah, so I think with over abuse and pushing, I think you risk more injury for sure.
This inability to stop that you mentioned, like it's one, it's one thing on a competition problem. You fight, you don't let go, right? But is it also related to projects?
Probably it's very related, because I feel like it's kind of an obsessive behavior, probably. Yeah, it can be. But when I feel there is possibility, I don't feel like it's time to let go. So, and when I feel it's done, it's done. It's about feelings.
When did this projecting phase start? I mean, you did already 2016. You did this Cicatrice de l'Homme, the first 8B. Was that like your first major outdoor project?
No, I think
No.
Mécanique élémentaire was more of a bigger project because I could really push through moves that I thought was very limit. And I saw how it can work over time. So that was kind of the premise of it, I would say. But for sure, Cicatrice de l'Homme and other things, like more in rock climbing, I had this process already, trying to push 8B+, 8C, 8C+, and so on. So
your current project, Dreamtime, provided it is still a project. I don't know.
it is unfortunately still a project. As I can't fall more like close to the top. Well, yes, I could. I shouldn't say this, but I've made a lot of progress through my high points lately.
Yeah.
Well, but like as you know, Vladek is kind of very how to say wet and humid and shit in Switzerland since a month and a half. So I couldn't really push since mid-January, but I've made great progress, we'll say. And feel super fit. And that's pretty cool because I had, after Action Directe, kind of, like I was motivated, but I discovered also a lot of other sports and alpinism and flying, and I did a lot of other stuff. And somehow I had a bit of like a drive in 2022 to really push again on Dreamtime and all the project I have. But I injured myself. I had also kind of a little incident in paragliding, so it took me like some months off. And since then I had to take it like step by step again with climbing, and now I'm on a good rail through motivation with climbing, let's say.
a little incident in paragliding sounds scary.
Well, I was in Ticino and I was flying, and I had to throw my rescue very fast before hitting the ground, for sure. It was like let's say a lot of incidents in a row that I had to through my rescue. And it was not so far from the ground, and the reserve opened just before landing and broke my knee. But like it was only a knee.
Broke your knee?
So, yeah.
Ouch. Yeah. I broke twice my foot by landing in the tree with the paraglide. So
really?
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Like at the same time.
Same time.
No,
okay,
no,
it was two different occasions. Like doing this yourself.
For me it was pretty fortunate because it opened 3 seconds before landing. But unfortunate because I landed on the only rock that was on this hill, basically. Like there was like some rock, but that was the only big rock with like a spine and so, and I had to put my knee in front to save my other part of the body. So so I broke my knee, but in a good spot. Like it was clean and nice, and I had to wait 2.5 months before walking, and and then it was nice again. And now I walk a lot. Like I started to like a lot walking, then went to Patagonia and walked even more. And then I thought, actually climbing is nice.
I guess you start to appreciate walking more when you can't do it.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's impressive.
Yeah.
So sorry, one more question. How do heel hooks works for you now with the knee? With the knee?
Oh, no problem. But I had a really weird. Actually, you see the femur and you see the head of the femur, and I broke because it was kind of a rock spine, and I put my femur basically like the head, and it broke like the bone. So I didn't break any ligament and nothing. So it was only like a perfect thin crack through the bone.
So it's just above the knee. Just above the knee then.
Like it's like on like inside above. Yeah.
Okay.
I had because I like how to say, I bended my knee to protect myself, and I exposed my knee, so it was like the above part of the femur.
Right.
Yeah. So it was clean, and he works really well. It's no problem.
So I want to get back a little bit to projects and Dreamtime and so on, not only broken knees.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So Action Direct and Dreamtime, they are sort of both in one way similar, sort of in length, I guess, but also very different in style.
Well, they're very different. Yeah, it's a bit of difference for sure. But the hardest move on Action Direct is the first one, and the hardest move on like a Dreamtime is maybe move 10 for me. So even 15, like 12. I didn't count. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of not the same.
But can you compare the process?
Yeah, let's say the process with Action Direct was way more of like how to find a way to do this move, which was very richy for me. And because also I couldn't let my foot on the low part, which is a bit better. So I had like the foot a bit higher, and it make it a little harder for sure, like the jump. But so it was kind of a quest to find how to do this move, while on Dreamtime it's more okay, I know how to do the move, but it's a quest with how to maintain good skin and perfect conditions to actually pull really hard on the 8 millimeters. Like honestly, what Michaela did is pretty impressive. Like she even climbed it for me in summer. Like she climbed it in November, I think, but it was 15 degrees, and I don't know, I couldn't really put on those holds. I really need colder, and I'm not that as strong probably on this like small crimps. Even if people say I'm good at crimps, maybe it's not very true. So it's a challenge. It's different. It's more like managing to have still like strength and capacity to really pull really hard on those two crimps and really believe in it. While on Action Direct, it was more like right here, right now, give it all. Anyway, if you fall, you have a try in 10 minutes. It's very different. On Dreamtime, you climb 10 moves in, you arrive to the two crimps, you try really hard, and you feel out of breath. Wow, if you don't like somehow breathe in the middle. And then you have to wait, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to regain a bit of freshness. And you have 4 tries maximum a day, because anyway, I can't really pull that hard on some mini crimps and don't lose skin somehow. So yeah, it's very different.
But skin, you mentioned skin, it must be so important on such a climb, not only on those crimps, but also on the way there. If you have the perfect skin, the perfect friction, you don't have to pull so hard before you get there, like to the 8 mil.
Yeah, like the conditions, especially in Crescendo, is really key, at least for me. It's always a question of level. Now you see like so many, it's amazing. You see so many strong climbers popping out of the gyms and competitions and showing up and having like a level way above the boulder. And on any condition, they can really, I mean, either being very close or send the boulder. So they're very strong. It's pretty amazing. But I need good conditions.
But how close actually you are to sending? It's just about the conditions, so just be there in the right time, in the right conditions, and that's it? Or
I think it could happen any try somehow.
okay.
I really believe in it. So let's see what. But yeah, for sure, we need to change weather. Hanoi and Mousson weather is not good for me. I tried it 3 days ago, and somehow I don't know. I lost in one try. I lost all my skin. One try.
Oh shit!
And I felt I couldn't really pull on those 2 creams, but actually could. And yeah, I don't know. It's also a lot about like how confident you are, and really like what you. Even if you go like for the 50 times this year, which is not too much, which is actually pretty reasonable. You still need to go there and have like the right spirit and be like, okay, I'm sending it today. Like I'm really going for it. You know, it's not like gonna try, and so it's like you need to put the fighter on and be like, hey, game on, let's go.
Yeah, but I guess there are 2 ways. There are also, I mean, a lot of people say that, you know, if you just trust the process and just go there, do it, and one of these times it's going to work. Like,
yeah, exactly. But there is a difference, I think, in terms of psychology, whether like you have this talk with yourself to kind of chill you down and not be too frustrated about the process, and try to take like all the little wins, and it's really healthy and it's really good. But when you are in fight mode and you're gonna make an attempt, it's like give it all. It's like right here, right now. It's like okay, let's go. And yeah, you maybe have another try if it doesn't work. But yeah, I think it's like a 2 mindset you kind of have to be okay with the process. And
now you've been there.
Overthink the whole thing.
Yeah, you've been there now since January or earlier?
No, actually, I kind of like, I can't handle myself to just stay here. So I basically drive a lot.
Right.
It's like from Briançon, it's 4 hours. And from Germany, it's only 3. So I've been like going back and forth like since November, let's say. Like
okay, so because the question I was thinking about was like, how do you maintain, you know, shape when you're there and you can't really climb because of conditions, but you're not there. So
yeah, exactly.
You keep moving.
So basically the last, since 15 January, I went there 2 times because I thought it was maybe good and it was not. So I drove from France to Ticino, and then I thought it was not my condition, so I drove to Germany, and I do like this, and I train in Germany, like, and then I thought, oh, it's actually good conditions, so I drove back to Ticino, and I see like now it's Hanoi conditions, and it's not still my condition, so I'm gonna drive back now to France. So I'm doing this. Yeah,
driving, commuting.
Yeah, but
basically.
it's not so much driving. It's like I stay for 2-3 days here. If it's really not good condition, but for example in January I stayed quite like more time, like 2 weeks or something like this. Yeah.
And you always have access to the apartment?
I have a really good deal with landlord of this apartment. I'm popping up, and she always has space for me. It's so perfect. So I'm not going to tell you like the address or the contact, because if she books the apartment, then I'm not having it anymore.
Right.
I have quite the address.
You don't need it. You live like so close.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I'm coming down tomorrow, so yeah.
Ah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Dreamtime actually. Your only goal now? You climbing just there, or do you do some other stuff?
No, I always do other stuff. Yeah. It's just like the only problem is that I've been here, like I've come quite a lot. So all the boulder up to 8B that I wanted to do, I kind of did.
Yeah.
So, and so I don't have so much left anymore, but and I have to handle the skin as well.
You mentioned that already before, like problem with the skin. Do you have like bad skin, or you just that's just too much climbing? It's like damaged.
No, it's like I always go to the limit on those 2 creams to really have proper sessions, and at the end I don't have skin anymore, so I need to rest and grow back the skin.
But do you have in Germany where you train? Do you have some sort of replica there that you train on, or is it just?
Yeah, I did make a replica on the kilter board with the mini creams, the foot. Yeah, basically. And I train on this replica.
But you have passed these mini crimps on like on goes. You climbed past them.
Yes, I did. I just it was now a month ago. I felt 2 times in a row on the lip. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah.
Oh.
I slipped. My left hand slipped. I really felt I still have a bit of power, but yeah. And yeah, but it's all right. And actually, it was very interesting to see that I thought I knew the movement and how to do it. And since then, yeah, I made quite a lot of improvement on how to understand the movement. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a constant research of like why I can't do this movement and how to make it easier somehow, like all mini details. But if I tell you what I do right now, it's a 2.0 move, honestly. I'm doing an advertising right now.
2.0 move.
Yeah, honestly. It's like, so think about a knee bar. Like describe me, like what do you think like doing a knee bar is?
Well, you wedge your foot and your knee between 2 spots.
Exactly. So you agree with it that it's a static move?
Normally, yes.
Normally, yeah. So think about a 2.0 knee bar actions.
So that's actually you're pushing your knee to the wall with the toes, and you're moving at the same time.
Exactly, you get it. So I found something like this on Dreamtime. That's exciting, right?
That's cool.
Yeah,
This is so cool. I'm so excited about it. And I called it, well, in French, it's like jeter de genoux. It's like jump your knee somehow.
No,
but it's like, yeah, it sounds way better in French, like je. Like I found this, whatever. It's a joke with friends. But honestly, it's really cool because it's when you are on those 2 creams, you throw your knee, and when you arrive to the hands, like you compress your knee on your hand. It's pretty cool.
Do you have it on video somewhere?
Yeah, I do, but it's very confidential. Can show it.
Now it's not anymore.
I will visit you in the scene.
No, yeah, sure. I have it on video.
But like at this go where you fell, well, one of the goes where you fell on the lip, did it ever started to enter your mind that this is the go? I got it.
Sure. All the time. Yeah. All the time I think this is a go. I got it.
Like
that's a positive mindset. Yeah, but honestly, on the go, the only thing you have to think is like moving to the next hold, nothing else. It was the same thing, and that's very similar to Action Directe. It's like next move, not thinking too much, because anytime you overthink, yeah, your mind can go into the doubt zone, and yeah, and if you start to doubt yourself, it's not so good. for climbing,
Not so
because
good.
you're not in the moment present anymore, and you can't really like do two things at the same time, climbing and thinking.
Are you
Yeah,
good at
that's-
that, staying in the moment? Or are you easily distracted by people or things?
No, well, for sure, there is moments where I will be distracted, but I think comps really help me on this matter, to try to refocus and be like, hey, no, let's go, and back to movement. And I think it's like kind of have, let's say now, like for example, like there is new people on Dreamtime, and I didn't, somehow there is some noises or somebody who we will, how to say, over cheer, which is very nice, but sometimes very like stressful. And yeah, so I will have, thanks to competition, things like in not even a second, be like, hey, no, like focus on the movement. Try to take it as an advantage, like the surrounding, the energy, because there is always the energy.
So these projects that you have now it's Dreamtime, and maybe you have other projects as well, and you maybe have projects in mind.
My God.
But I know you also
I'm running out of time here.
Right, but you do so many things, like with the paragliding, with the mountain projects and skiing, and so do you feel that the Dreamtime project, does it keep you from doing other things you'd rather do? Or?
I will, if I will have done it in November, I will have made a total different plan of my winter. You know, I had a ticket to go to Argentina, and I pushed the first time the ticket to mid-January, because I thought mid-January, it's a long time, I'm very close. And then, yeah, I pushed it now to December next year. So
how do you choose your projects actually?
I think it's like a couple of things. Going through historic climbs, for me it's like understanding, I don't know, understanding climbing, and it's important somehow. I think there is a lot to learn from the past, let's say. And I don't feel like I will be a complete climber if I didn't climb those majestic lines also, because they're all kind of like very special. And somehow, because I do now a lot of other stuff, I don't feel the same psyche or energy to put in more like underground lines. It's not really a name, underground lines. No. Let's say not as majestic lines, but it is very individual, thinking. Let's say magical can be anything you think magical.
So what did you learn from Action Directe?
I learned that I know nothing. I learned that life is like a constant learning. This is actually what I learned. It's like it comes, but somehow I needed a pandemic to climb Action Directe. Thanks, pandemia. That was perfect, perfect timing. But no, I don't know. I learned that I know nothing.
Okay.
And maybe like to be in the moment present and just be grateful for what you're doing right now. And like, if you are on this path right now, like you have something to learn about.
And so do you think, I mean, that's a good starting point. Like you don't know anything and you have so much to learn. Do you think that after Dreamtime, you will learn something, maybe?
Maybe or something like obstination arrive always to a point.
Yeah.
Point of like climbing or not climbing. But it's a journey. I think it's a voyage. At the end, when I look at Action Directe from here, I think it was okay. Like the actual day I did Action Directe was absolutely crazy because it was full on pandemia. And I was in Germany somehow, and it was still possible to climb somehow. And in France, they were actually in lockdown already. Yeah, so it was very special and stressful and weird, and yeah, but somehow it was. But what I remember actually from Action Directe is the whole journey, like spending so many great times around Franken-Jura, and knowing a community, and like sharing times with people that became friends. And those times, they're so valuable because somehow you share the same drive. And for climbing, I don't know, this is what you remember at the end. It's not like, hey, I did the move. It's like,
right.
well,
but
I
when you
spent 7 years more or less hanging out around Franken-Jura, and it was amazing. But now I feel like, hey, you spend 5 years around Ticino. It's amazing.
That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Hang around and
Yeah.
So,
But
okay.
when you started out, and when you set out on that journey on Action Directe, what you learned now, what the experience was this what you expected it to be, or did you have different expectations? Like, when I do this, I will feel this way, and it will mean this thing.
No, I had zero expectation somehow, and it was more about trying to leave the process fully. And I was already super close in 2015. I was climbing a lot with Felix Neumerker, and yeah, he did it, and I kind of lost my partner when he did it, and it was kind of like trying a rebound with Action. And then I climbed a lot with a friend named Andy, and like we had the same drive for Action, and it was full on again, and it was amazing for this. Yeah, I don't know. This is what I remember, what I learned.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it? Do you think it was the limit for you?
But that's so weird,
like...
because when actually you climb the route and you don't feel at all that it's a limit. It's kind of like the mental limit that you have to go through, and accept somehow that you can do it. Let's say it's more like this.
Dreamtime, then. Is it a mental thing that you're not there yet?
I don't know. I'm really thinking about it, but we are working on it really hard. Actually, Lattice helped me quite a lot on this. Ella has been, trying to, push me in this direction. It's pretty cool to be feeling supported and not feeling alone into a process. It's good. No, I think I'm there. I think I'm there. You have to convince yourself a bit, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't believe in it,
think.
you can't do it. So I believe in it. So let's see.
Do you have already some other project then in your mind, or do you like now, like you will climb Dreamtime tomorrow, and okay, day after I will fly to Argentina exactly. Or whatever?
No, not Argentina, not yet. But yes, I want to climb it, and then I have plenty of other climbs I want to do, and that's the problem.
Right.
It's like I feel like I give myself until end of March, and then it's over. And maybe I will come back next year. But hopefully I do it this year, and I feel very pleased and happy about it, and it's good.
One more thing about one question about Action Directe and mental, but about moving past it. Like, did you know before you climbed Action Directe that you were there mentally, or was that something you realized afterwards?
No, I think I realized it afterwards. It was more maybe this is it. What I learned about Action Directe, it was more about whatever happens somehow, if just give everything in the moment present. It's like here, right now, you give everything and you believe in it. It's funny because just before climbing it, it was actually the first time ever I put maybe second time, but I really put like a camera on top, like on top was the first time, on the bottom was maybe second or third time somehow. And somehow I was like, okay, just in front of the camera, I was like, fucking do it right now. And somehow I climbed it. It was crazy. So it was like, I think it's the power of the moment present, not think too much. It's the key.
So what Vladek said also is you don't have already some ultimate goal or project that like this is the thing I want to do like next or next or something.
Yeah. I have like a full list of climbs I would love to do. It's what I tell you. I'm running out of time. It's a problem, and I want to fly, and I want to be have like some little paragliding combo alpinist things I want to do. Yeah, I think it will be great if like more good weather will be better for for doing everything. Because I relate a lot on weather. And I've been very focused on how to understand better conditions somehow.
But okay, tell us your next project. Like, what's that in bouldering? What's that in lead climbing? What's that in alpine climbing?
Yeah, like I have for this year, let's say 2-3 main projects. Would like I will switch on rope as soon as I'm done with this part of the journey on Dreamtime, whatever happens, end of March. And yeah, let's say. Then I will drive to Anot directly and try Bon Voyage.
Of course, Bon Voyage, cool.
Bon Voyage, yeah, I'm pretty psyched also to try it, because when I climbed Le Voyage last year, I really liked the process with trad climbing, and I want to do a bit more of that. But maybe check out the move and see what's possible maybe next year, let's say. Biography, I really want to do it like April, May, and maybe check out the right sister, Bibliography. Yanea is trying also, so it would be cool to share the process with her. So she's super fun to climb with outside. She was here in Ticino a little bit, and it was really nice. Yeah,
we heard.
She almost flashed Dreamtime, right? She fell.
She on the seat. She grabbed like, let's say, like on the sloper. She felt on the flash. Yeah.
Okay.
And then she was looking really solid and really strong. I thought she could totally flash it and try to give her like the better for it. That was super cool to see. And but it was pretty cold, and she's like warmer temps. Yeah.
But anyway, it sounds like you're doing sort of what Adam Ondra has done. Like you do everything like super hard in every discipline. Like you have the bouldering, the sport climbing, the trad climbing, the multi pitches next, I guess. Like
no, but he came first because when I met Fabian, he was only and mainly doing multi-pitch climbing. So it started also a little bit like this. Rope climbing I always did from the very beginning, and I always enjoyed it. For me, it was kind of my identity. Like I really like it, sport climbing. And trad, it's also sharing it with Fabian or with others. And when I went to Patagonia, it's somehow over there more common because of like the mountains, and also Cochamó is a very special place. But like I'm very inspired for sure by Adam, but I don't think I'm any like close to how good and strong he is for sure. But trying my best here.
You never said what the thing is you doing in Argentina, like in this particular climb.
No, in Argentina first, like let's say my alpinism experience is building up experience. So it was more like of a tour of Argentina and spend like some time in Chalten and see like how, I don't know, how it works and how the mountains are. I was very impressed by the beauty of the mountain, but also by how remote it can feel when you have to hike so much. And rescue, for example, is not like in the Alps. It's not like you call an PGHM and they are here, right now. So it's a bit more exposed on this.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to fly in Patagonia. So I flew just above the glacier, like of Point Snow, and it was magical. It was impressive, honestly. And in Cochamo, I was there a bit too early, I think, but I didn't know by the time. I was in December there, and there was like one route I wanted to climb and to try, El Condor Pasa, but unfortunately the team that put it up, because it's like mainly bolted route, a little bit of trad but not too much, they used oxidated
Okay.
yeah, and the problem is like probably they didn't know, but like 10 months out of 12 it rains in Cochamo.
Okay.
So
Right.
it was basically like we started in the route and all like you could almost pull. It was very loose, like all the bolts. So we
I see.
bailed on this and we climbed like a bunch of other stuff. But a lot of stuff was like wet and running from the snow. It was a bit too early in the season. Was pretty much like the first good weather window. So like a lot of snow was melting down and like a lot of things were wet. It's why in Cochamo the best time it's in February.
If you had to choose from now on one discipline of climbing or outdoor activities,
Oh
you
my
can only
God!
do one.
I saw the
I
big
can
eyes.
only do one
No.
because
Yes,
why?
that's the rule.
That's a rule.
Your doctor tells you you can only do one.
Joker. Can't choose. I really
to
like
choose.
to do everything because somehow it kind of like make me, I don't know, I really like bouldering, but a time in a year. If I do only bouldering like this, I will go crazy, honestly. Because it's good because it has a time limit. I really like projecting in sport climbing for the same reason, because somehow like I don't know, I don't like. Yeah, maybe sport climbing is maybe more than bouldering because you can push both in sport climbing at the same time. You can try really hard on rope too, let's say. But I really maybe tried. Let's say tried is also really cool because, but maybe you can push it the both in trad climbing at the same time.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah. So maybe super hard bouldering rope trad climbing. Right? Maybe a bit with maybe in the middle of a wall. It's also very nice. Like let's say if it's like the extreme fifth pitch of
I get it.
Of a big wall. In a mountain area.
That's smart. Because then you have to get there.
And you fly down afterwards.
Fly down. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's just part of the trip. Like
did I answer well the question? Oh.
Smart. That's smart.
That was kind of choosing, right?
Yeah, good choice. Smart.
How much do you bench?
Bench press?
Yes.
Wow. You know what? That's very funny, and that's a question for Ella, like my coach with Lattice, because she tried so hard to actually make me do that. The whole preparation from September on, every week, she tried to push that, and I did one time this
So that's
winter
your
because.
maximum.
No, I didn't try maximum. I tried 6, but I think back in the time, because last time I did that was maybe, I don't know, maybe in 2021 I did some still, but I'm not so good at it. Huh? I did maybe 52.
That's
It's okay.
decent. I mean, that's good.
I'm 55, huh? So it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yes, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, we
How
took
much?
the Chalet last week. 30.
30? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. He tried it once when he was 16, he said.
Then, yeah, I'm sure you can do more, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Probably.
So
I
next
thought you
one.
would ask how many one-arm pull-ups or something
That's
more
the next
classic.
question.
Yeah, that's the next question.
That's the next question.
Okay, when I'm fit, normally 3 or 4.
That's
a
really
lot.
good.
But
That's a
on
lot.
jugs.
Oh, okay, on jugs.
Well, that's
Of
On
course, on
small
jugs.
crips, when I'm fit on small crips, maybe 2. Like on 12, like the Beastmaker 12 millimeter, but not half crims. I'm really bad at it. Like I'm really bad. I'm getting better, let's say.
Wait. You do 2 one-armers on 12 millimeters.
No, I do 1, and probably I will start like the next one
Basically.
when I'm really fit. Yeah.
Which is always.
Um,
Pistol spots.
yeah, how many pistol spots?
Well, I didn't do that for a long time, but I used to do that a lot when for the World Cups. There's I remember I can do easily 3 or 4 or 5. I don't remember so much. But do you want to try?
Yeah.
Maybe I have stronger legs now, actually.
You should
so maybe
try.
more.
You should try.
I want to try Dreamtime tomorrow.
Yeah. Not
That's
so good for
probably
the
smart.
knee. So
Yeah. So last one. You posted was it a story or reel the other day, probably yesterday or the day before, when you did your 20 millimeter PB on lifting weights. Yeah. How much was that?
It was not really like a personal best. It was like a 3 times 3 pickups.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't push it. I tried to like explain myself for like all the crazy like numbers I read on internet, because they're all saying like 62, 67. And for me, like it was 52.5. And it's already pretty good for me. It's like my weight. So, and it was by 3. And I think I could have done maybe 55 or 57, but they didn't have like, if you see, like it's pretty much the end of the space I had on the stack of weight. But I think I can do like on 1 rep, probably 57. But a crazy fact is actually hanging. I'm actually way stronger. I can like hang with 15 kilos, like for 3 seconds.
Really?
On 20 millimeter, where I can only like carry up my weight or 5 kilo more or something like this. So yeah, I guess my shoulder are stronger than my fingers.
That's strange though, because I mean,
Funny,
you would think that, picking up, you could control it better and just lift it easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's way easier to pick something up, for sure.
Yeah, and even if like, and I try to like the hanging, try to have it like straight, like only like activated shoulder, but it's even worse if I'm like bending my arm at 100 to like 20 or so. I can even like add more weight.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
probably
very
compensation through shoulders.
Yeah.
While actually picking up, it's only your finger.
Yeah. It's not difficult to lift it. It's just the
No.
fingers, right?
And
Mm.
also, I've tried also like to have like the team deck and try to really pull really hard. And I can go up to 67 or something like this. Or I don't remember exactly like how much I did, but it's also like way more into like the back power. So lifting up is only fingers.
Right. Do you do that a lot? Picking up?
Like since I started with lattice, let's say with Ella, we started like in August, and I'm doing it like pick up, let's say once a week. And I started pretty low, like in September I was at 45 kilo, and now I'm at like 52.5 or 55. So I like this approach. It's really regular, like on a like let's say weekly base, and I do like hangings maybe 2 times a week, and I always do it before climbing. Actually, when I go training in the gym, I go the pickups, and if I go outside climbing, I do a lot of hangings for warming ups, one arm hanging.
Have you felt that it's been good for your climbing? Have you noticed a difference?
I think I think more for the health of the fingers. I feel I can really push in a continuous way without injury. I feel way more healthy on my fingers, and that's combined to a lot of like shoulder exercise conditioning. I think this helped a lot my climbing, for sure, like the past few months. I never did that even when I was younger. I did like more proper weightlifting, like weight pull-ups and like bench press and stuff like this. While now I do a lot of like fixing shoulder exercise. This helps a lot for.
Yeah,
But
being healthy is good for climbing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's pretty good to mix it with exercise of contact strength, and this mix of it make it useful for climbing. But it's always like trying to build a base, and then when you build the base, you can do like more of contact strength and exercise like it, which will help more for your climbing.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. It's been such a long time since I saw you.
Sure. Yeah, it's very true. Very nice to see you as well. Yeah, probably last time was like last Portugal Legends 2017, right?
Yeah, must have been. Yeah. It's 8 years ago already, almost. Yes. Wow. Time flies. Let's just say enjoy Dreamtime tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Very nice speaking to you. Yeah, see you. Ciao.
See you. Ciao.
Bye.